Stop being too soft. Stop being so emotionally weak. Man up. Just deal with what people... Let people grow. Let people make mistakes. Right, welcome to Unpopular Theory, the podcast where we go through people's unpopular opinions and go through the theories behind them. So we've got... What are you doing, Sam?
What?
We've started.
I know, so I was just...
I told you to do this before.
No, I was pouring a drink off camera for the brandy.
For the branding.
So it's not on the... It's fine.
All right.
It's all right.
We've started
I'm just going to finish pouring. You carry on.
All right. Yeah, so I thought, welcome back to season 2. I thought it would be great to start with Sam, as we started with season 1.
Hey.
Do you want to introduce yourself? Boy.
I'm so ill. Is that the sort of thing you...
Just you need to introduce yourself.
All right, yeah. I'm Sam, and I'm so ill.
They don't need to know that. They can't even tell.
I'm just being honest. I thought this was like... Okay, I'm Sam, and I'm very healthy a lot of the time. Not today. We have normalised reacting to things with outrage, and it's because of cancel culture.
That's really long, mate.
Well, okay.
How about this?
Cancel culture.
All right, let's move on. We come back from this.
We haven't even got the title.
Oh, God. All right, so as you know, we normally start off with a game.
Yes, I like the game so much.
This game's called Trigger Me This. Just made that up on the
That's
spot.
brilliant. I love that.
Okay. So the aim is to work out if someone's actually been cancelled for this, for what I'm about to read out, or if it's a fake cancellation. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've got to say real or fake.
Real or fake?
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, number 1. A man was cancelled for eating a banana too provocatively on a public train. Real or fake?
That's got to be fake. I mean, it's
Sure?
I can believe that people will... Well, actually, I'm laughing about it. This is my privilege showing already. Because as men, it's easier for us to laugh at social injustices because most of them are done by us.
How would you
So hang on. So a man was provocative... I mean, it could constitute sexual harassment, couldn't it? I mean, I'm going to say real.
Or fake,
I'm
mate.
going to say real, sorry.
So you think real, yeah?
Yeah.
How do you think he was eating the banana?
I'm not going to
Do
demonstrate.
you reckon he's one of them people that eats it for the shape and not the taste?
I don't know what you mean.
Or he eats it sideways?
Who eats a banana sideways?
Alright, so you're going to say real?
Just through the skin. Yeah, I think it's real.
You're right. Well done, that's 1 point.
To be fair,
It was real.
I think you'd really struggle to come up with fake ones.
No,
I've
got some fake ones, mate.
I think I'm going to struggle to spot. I mean, that's an amazing first one.
Okay, so a cafe was shamed for offering men's-sized and women's-sized lattes.
Yeah, real. Well, it's sexist,
sure?
isn't it? Yeah, real. I can believe it anyway, yeah.
Okay, that's 2 points. 2 real ones.
2 real ones.
That's weird, though, isn't it?
Well, I think it's weird that they did that in the first place. Was the man's latte in like a stein?
It's just a massive,
Yeah.
it's just a massive beer glass.
It's just a pint.
And the women's one is like a little
Women
champagne
don't drink
drink.
pints because of their delicate constitutions.
All right, next one.
You're going to take so much of the shit I say and get me cancelled.
All right,
Which is
real
impossible
or
because it's
fake?
not real.
A guy was roasted online for using a selfie stick at a funeral.
So he was what online?
Roasted.
Roasted. Well, yeah, quite right. What a prick.
What? So you think that's real?
Yeah, I'm triggered, clearly. Yeah, I think it's real.
Okay, 3 out of 3, mate.
Selfie stick at a funeral.
3
I mean, a
out of 3.
selfie stick anyway should be punishable by death, but I've definitely used a selfie stick in my time.
At a funeral.
Not at a funeral, no.
It's awkward. Okay. A
At a
TikToker,
mediation once.
real or fake? A TikToker was called out for saying cheddar cheese is overrated.
I mean, that's so banal. I mean, are there degrees of cancellation, or is it just one, you're cancelled, you're done? This is more nuanced than I would have expected.
Real or fake?
Fake.
Mate, you got 4 out of 4 so far.
Oh, okay, good.
Right, next one.
Because that's actually too banal. Anyway, carry on, sorry.
Okay, a celebrity was cancelled for only eating blue foods as their New Year's resolution.
But why would you... Like, you'd laugh at someone for that because it's so dumb, but someone was cancelled for... surely the basis for cancelling someone is that it's offensive in some way, or that it's unlawful in some way.
Yeah, but it's kind of, I don't know. You just got to...
We're losing the meaning of the word, aren't we? Okay, yeah, fake. Must be fake.
That is 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5, I'm good at this.
Did you read my notes before this?
No.
Oh. Why are you
I
smiling?
did look at your phone, though. And you should be ashamed of yourself.
So you just got you got 0 out of 5. All right, you've lost. So this episode's unpopular theory is how normalised we've made cancel culture, and how we're so used to just reacting with hate or off getting offended by stuff.
Outrage, yeah.
Yeah, outrage.
We've normalised
so
reacting
easy
to things
to-
with outrage.
Yeah, everything is so easily triggered. Everyone's so easily triggered.
Yeah.
And
What?
Exactly. That's normally the response that people have in their head. That's a triggering thing, saying, "I can't believe they said you can put ketchup in cereal." Like, is that a real reason to like? Anyway, what are your opinions on that? Do you think we're getting too soft? Do you think it's so easy and natural? And do you think it's a way of staying relevant? Do you think people are pretending to be triggered? About stuff?
There's a lot to this. For me, the root of it is communication. I think that instead of having conversation, people are more concerned with being right than learning something. People are more bothered about how their team is doing, whether or not their team is winning, as opposed to understanding what they're talking about. I think what we have is this tremendous fear, and as a result we have people reacting as quickly as possible and as loudly as possible to demonstrate their moral worth for fear of being judged themselves. And then what you also have is this horrible kind of cynical, rage baiting. You have people using it in a very cynical way. I think those are the two extremes of.
So
of
let's
what
just
we're talking about.
let's split it up a little bit. So at first you got people that are actually cancelling others, right? So you got this unofficial group of people that will just be like, "I can't believe you said this, and I can't believe you wrote that, and I can't believe blah blah." So number one, those groups of people, sometimes, a lot of the times actually, they're justified. So that, I don't know, they could be
Sure.
like, the truth comes out about influencers and this and that, and truth comes out about influencers, and someone's spilt the tea on loads of stuff, and then all of a sudden this celebrity or influencer or someone's getting cancelled, and that's probably justified. I mean, depending on the scenario, a lot of times it can be justified, the way they behaved or some opinion they've shared and so on. Then you've got people that are just being themselves, and then society or other content creators are just going, "Oh, I can't believe you said this," and I can't believe, like, people just getting cancelled for the sake of being cancelled, and then these people are actually cancelling or retaliating to stay relevant and involved.
I mean, that last bit is really depressing. I think the court of public opinion isn't new. Certain individuals wanting to be famous by any means necessary, that's nothing new either. That's been there since the dawn of time. But what people don't want to do is admit that they're wrong or admit that they've learned
But
something.
do you think people are pretending they're annoyed or offended to stay involved and relevant to the scenario?
I don't know about that. I think people have good intentions, and I think people want to be on the right side of history. I think the way it comes out more and more is in kind of knee-jerk reaction, outrage, without really understanding the conversation you're part of, because you see a target, and I've been guilty of this. I've been a keyboard warrior. You see something and you think, "No, I've got to shut that down. That's not right." And even if you've got the best of intentions, you're actually closing down a conversation.
Yeah,
Instead
but
of actually going, "I disagree with you. I'd really like to talk about why you think that way." That very
but that's
rarely
you.
happens.
That's you reacting to something that you have certain morals on, or certain
I
opinions
like
on.
to think that I don't virtue signal. I do think virtue signaling's a thing. Maybe I'm too much of an optimist. I think I would hope that the evolution of conversation on social media is that we have less reaction and more conversation.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to be the case. But my point
No.
there was
No.
my point there was you would react because you have a certain opinion about something and you disagree with what you've seen, right?
Yeah.
But my question is, do you think people don't necessarily disagree, but they just want to be involved because it's trending?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's natural, isn't it? You see a conversation happening, you want to be part of it. I hate the word influencer. I don't understand why that's what they're called. I think you have a whole other group of people who live on social media and do want to take advantage of it. I think that's really cynical.
All right. So, do you think that that posting on social media, I think people have to think twice about what they're posting in case it offends someone. I think people have become so soft nowadays. It's so easy to offend someone by the simplest thing.
I think you're right. I think that people are too afraid to take a risk on getting something wrong in order to learn something. And I think the potential for that is massive on social media.
Say you were going to become an influencer, right?
Yeah,
I know you hate
whatever that is.
I know you hate that word, that's why I've used it. You're putting out a piece of content every day. And say this truthfully, would you obviously you've got to think about your audience, but
sure,
if people are reacting saying, "Oh, you can't say this, you can't say that," and you think that's right, are you going to carry on putting out that content, or
I think if you're putting something out, you've got a responsibility to engage with your audience. You have a responsibility to respond to it. So yeah, I mean, it's easy to sit here and say that I would. I would like to think that if someone called me out on something and went, "This is outrageous, I can't believe you're defending this," or I would hear them out, and I'd say, well, you know, maybe I'm showing my privilege. I'd love you to educate me here. This is why I think maybe you've missed my point. I get what you're saying. It's difficult to talk about this in vague terms.
Has cancel culture gone too far? Are we cancelling for the sake of it, or do you think there's a place for it? And are we cancelling the wrong people? Because say you, I don't know, you represent wokeness, and I'm adding that word because I feel like we can talk a little bit about that. Number one, people are so afraid to talk against it because they wouldn't want to get cancelled. Number two, I feel like there's a lot of fake sort of representation of wokeness, if you want to call it that. So,
virtue signaling,
for example, you got companies showing the pride flag for a certain period and then it disappears from their branding, purely for the sake of
it's
showing
trendy.
they care. Apparently, it's trendy.
Right.
I think there's a certain amount of government funding they can get for being a certain type of company. So, a company's not the best example, but they do that and then it disappears after the Pride Month or something, and there's nothing. It's nowhere to see in their branding. Doesn't mean they don't represent it at all, but there's that fake wokeness. Number one, of just saying, "Oh, I care," but I'm doing it actually for other reasons. And then there's the people that are just so afraid for actually just offending someone in that scenario because it's such a soft subject. And do you think there's a slight turn in when people are just getting sick of it? I'm going to offend so many people.
No. So
that's my point.
This is exactly the thing, and this is the value of doing this. You have to take a risk on getting something wrong in order to learn something and then get it right, and that's what gets shut down. People are to try and respond. There's quite a lot there, but firstly, I think there is a lot of fear. I think people are very careful. I think to an extent people are very careful about what they put online, as they should be. I think the point that matters is if you put something on and then you get called out for it, it's your responsibility to respond to it however you wish, to clarify that point. What you were saying about has cancel culture gone too far? I think words are losing their meaning, and I think it's not as simple as that. I think we need to nurture an environment where we can communicate clearly. It's your responsibility to own your privilege and your ignorance, and we all fail to a degree every day. I know I do. Go on.
Just touching on that, so you can put whatever you want out. So let's just talk about one aspect, which is rage bait, where we sort of mentioned it earlier.
This is new to me.
People put out content that it's so extreme and so outrageous that some people recognise that surely this has to be rage bait.
Yeah.
Other people are triggered instantly. and they're getting all this engagement on their videos. It's going viral because people are thinking,
and then they make money because it's monetized. That sort of thing.
Well, yeah, that's one thing.
I mean, I think that's really cynical, and I can't identify with why you would happily kind of sell your soul in that way. That's just the latest version of something that's always been there. People have always been happy to compromise to get their face on telly, or now it's viral views on YouTube, and it's sad. It displays a lack of self-awareness, I think, or maybe I'm totally wrong, and it shows that they don't care how they make money. I don't understand why people do that. I think, if the cost of your integrity is a viral video, I don't really have anything to say to you.
People don't. I don't think people care as much about integrity anymore.
Yeah,
it's more
that's a
about
depressing
getting fame,
thought.
getting viral clicks and so on. But just carrying on with that then. So where you said, you don't think people should have to think twice about what they post.
No, I do think I think that they should be considered. I think there's a difference between being afraid to talk and knowing what you're talking about.
Yeah,
there's a huge difference, and people shouldn't be afraid to speak up. We only benefit from having more conversation. I don't know. I think. I know I've had conversations in the comments section where I felt like I'm trying to be open and get a response, and I'm just talking to someone who just wants to have a fight, who is just determined to throw mud, and you just think, well, what's your end game here? Who is this for? I suppose the bottom line for me is I think the term cancel culture is oversimplified in the same way that woke is. Like someone said to me the other day, I was at the supermarket, and I picked up a particular brand of shower gel. It was like the mint one, and someone just went woke. I was like, are we all the way down to shower gel now? Yeah. I was just like, I'll just go for the simple. And I was just like, is it all the way down to that now? People use take ownership of a word that has a very simple meaning, and they use it to apply it to whatever they want. And whether it's left wing, right wing, whatever it is, I also think those terms are out of date now.
So do you think that the word woke now being used in that sense, like you just given an example on, do you think people are slowly starting to get over it now, and they're actually like don't mind being put in that group of people where they say, you know what, I don't really care. They find it's like
there's
full circle.
There's stereotypes everywhere.
Not enough people cared in the first place, by the sounds of it. Then it became there's too many people, and everything's too sensitive, and now people are sort of over that sense. I come back round to be like, oh, this again.
I think it's just a different version of what we've seen before. The word is very simple. It just means aware of social issues. That's all it means. But it's been turned into, if you're woke, you're really judgy. And I understand where that's come from, because I think that there is a lot of self-righteousness. There is a lot of, we've got to shame people in order to improve the world, and that doesn't work at all. That just shuts down conversation. I think what we're seeing with woke now is the same as the word feminist. 10 years ago, if you're a feminist, all you think is women shouldn't be treated differently from men because they're women. That's it. But it turns into, so you watch Bridgerton, I don't know. Like, I'm a feminist. I fucking hate Bridgerton, but the sex scenes are good. So I think it's just another a case of oversimplification. You're either one of the good guys or you're cancelled. There are shades of grey, and I think that's where the outrage comes from, because the attention span is going.
All right, so let's do so. You like to engage in the comment section, if you want to call it that, right?
I get sucked in, yeah.
You get sucked in. I know you get triggered quite easily.
There's been a plane crash in Washington. This, really unlikely tragedy. People have lost their lives, and the new president has responded to it by saying this is because of the previous government employing ethnic minorities and people who are differently abled.
Okay, so
let's
pause it there. So imagine I'm making content about that, yeah?
Right.
And we'll do a little role play. So I'm making content about this.
Okay.
And you're the comment section.
Okay.
Yeah. As you. Clearly, people from other countries can't fly helicopters, can't fly planes. That's the reason why there's been so many plane issues recently, and everyone has to be from
You
America.
made me laugh at this because of the way you said it.
Everyone has to be from America for there to be no issues in the air.
Well,
End content.
Okay, start comment. Where have you got your facts from? What research is there as proof of this?
It's not conversation, mate.
Also, you're a moron.
Oh,
No, that's my comment.
So you asked 2 questions and then just.
And then I've called you a name, yeah.
Okay, so why? Okay.
Me calling you a name is very reductive.
Right, I'm not the content creator anymore. I'm another person commenting. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
You're a prick. Okay, so you haven't provided any actual like content
Why is the onus of responsibility on me
because
in that scenario?
because you commented, right? But your observation of that person that created
My
that
first
content,
response was, "Where's your research for anyone that's
Right,
not
so
an
you're-
American being less able to fly a plane?"
my research is look what happened.
It's not really.
No, but that's my point. So they've created content to piss you off.
Yeah,
that's rage bait.
It's rage
right?
bait. Yeah, it works clearly.
You've reacted to it.
I just need to get rid of my phone. I think life is one big rage bait.
So they've created that content. You've responded. So
So in that scenario, just because this whole concept of rage baiting is new to me because I'm really old. Apparently.
You're not in that. You're
So in that scenario, I've fallen for.
That's pissed you off. So you've fallen for that, right?
Right.
But the point that you're trying to make by commenting, leaving that comment, is right. I want to prove this person wrong. I.e., I want to cancel this person.
I don't want to cancel them. I want to challenge something they've put out into
Okay.
the world that's
So
that doesn't offer any evidence for what they're saying.
But the reason you've commented, right?
Yeah.
So you're aware that other people can see this comment.
Yeah.
So what you would ideally want is other people agreeing with you to say, yeah, you're right. This person. Where's your evidence?
Oh, I
Where's
see
this?
what you
Where's
mean.
that?
So
what you're creating is a little. I don't want to say cult, but a little community of people.
join
that-
my cult of rational
Yeah,
thought.
and cancel this content creator. That's what you.
So the impression is right. I've put something out in the public domain. It must be an attack, and my priority is one, to be seen, and to be seen to be this beacon of moral purity.
And in no way am I saying.
to
I'm not saying that
to
every comment has to agree with the content.
yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just
No, I
trying
get
to
you.
create a scenario that's easily visualized, and where people put content out to create rage bait, or that person might actually believe what they're saying.
Well, maybe I'm being really naive here. I've been told 3 times today that I'm a massive optimist. I think it's really cynical to assume the worst of someone's motivations for putting something online. But maybe I'm out of date. Maybe I need to catch up. Because if that's what social media is now, the only reason that you would engage is to prove your own worth and to score points against someone who you disagree with politically or ethically or whatever, then I don't. That turns me off.
Just to summarize, are we
Good luck.
agreeing or disagreeing? Are we keeping cancel culture, or are we getting rid of it? Like, get over it. Stop being too soft. Stop being so emotionally weak. Man up. Just deal with what people. Let people grow. Let people make mistakes. Or are we saying, nah, they've got to pay for this. They can't be saying that. Or
I don't know if those are the 2 options. I mean, I feel like we agree on this, but I feel like we articulate it a bit differently. I think you have to hold people to account. I feel like the court of public opinion is there. I think people need to calm down. I do think that we need less reaction and more conversation. I don't know if that's what cancel culture is. I think cancel culture is quite vaguely defined. So I think it's probably the first one. You know, people have to be allowed to make mistakes, but it's you are responsible for knowing when you've got it wrong and learning. It's not up to other people to do your learning for you.
Just touching on, we're allowed to let people make mistakes. A trend that I've seen slowly, it's not new, but it's just growing more and more, but it always makes me laugh. And I'm not going to lie, when I see this, I do automatically then think, bore off kind of thing, which is public apologies and things.
Okay.
So people will sit down and they've been cancelled for something, you know.
Right.
And I'm all for understanding when you're wrong, and then going out and putting out some content to say, look, I'm sorry. right? I'm all for that. But do you
Yeah.
think people are so quick to now apologise, and it kind of like diminishes their value? Do you think these apology videos are just getting too much? There's just apology videos about everything these days.
I think that
Sometimes just think about what you posted, how you posted, and why you posted at the time, and just back yourself a little bit. It's like I said, it's okay to be wrong and admit to that.
I think we're back at fear. I think we're back at fear culture. Firstly, I think even if it feels unfair, I think taking responsibility and trying to let the air out of the balloon a bit is a good thing. I think it's a strong thing to do, because it moves conversation forwards, and I think an apology can do that. It depends on the context. You know, you can't apply one to all. I get what you're saying, and I think maybe people going, oh, sorry, yeah, no, oh shit, I'm one of the bad guys now, please don't cancel me. That to me is a symptom of a culture where people can't have conversation. I think it's a good thing to, you know, take responsibility and be accountable. But the fact that people have to kind of have these knee-jerk kind of like put an apology out before it gets worse, even though we haven't really talked about what the issue is, that seems reductive to me. That seems like a lack of conversation. I think the short answer is I don't think there's anything wrong with putting an apology out and clarifying whatever needs clarifying. I think that shows strength and integrity. My issue would be the culture around that, where people are afraid to talk.
Yeah, I think I kind of disagree and agree, like 50-50 there.
Yeah.
I think I sort of already said it really. I do think you have to realise that when you're wrong, you've created something. You're trying to do a certain thing. It's trying to make yourself look in a certain way, and you may put content out that's wrong, right? And you get made aware of it, and the cancel culture comes for you. Fine, like you've thought about it, and then that's your response. Like, my bad. This is the reason I put it out, and so on. But I feel like it's the first move for everyone. That when the cancel culture comes for you, that's the first move. Oh God, I've got to apologise. I think just chill out a little bit.
Yeah.
Back yourself. If you think you didn't do anything that wrong, or explain yourself a little bit more. You don't have to apologise.
I agree. I think this is exactly the point. It's you move the conversation forward. I think if it's rather than not panicking, explaining. I think that's exactly right. I think you can say, okay, well, I'm really sorry if I've offended anyone. I'd really like to talk about this more. This is what we were talking about.
In summary, we do think cancel culture is just a way of staying relevant at the moment. Do you agree with that? Let's just say 3 statements. Cancel culture is sometimes nowadays a way just to stay relevant and involved. Yes or no? Agree or disagree?
I think I disagree.
Okay. And then it's okay.
I get what you mean, but I can't.
You can't add to it now.
I know. I'm sorry.
5-hour podcast.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. So yes, that's a statement, and then people pretend to be overly aware of things because they're scared of being wrong. Agree? Disagree?
I think it's a stereotype.
Agree.
Agree.
And then finally,
sorry.
apologizing too quickly and just giving in, breaking in, not understanding the scenario well enough happens too much now, and it's potentially their easy way out when it actually makes things worse.
Yeah, I agree.
Finally, you've got an agree. No, but thank you for coming on this episode. Lovely to have you on again. Thanks for starting the season off again.
Yeah, good fun.
As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast.
And drink Tango Orange.
Okay.